Welcome everybody inside Pioneer Cottage, and I am sitting in the exact same bedroom that Thomas Hughes slept in on his first visit to Rugby. But how did Thomas Hughes describe Pioneer Cottage? Well, we can see what Thomas Hughes said about Pioneer Cottage and also early Rugby in a book he wrote called Rugby, Tennessee. He wrote this in the 1880s. This is a reprint that we sell in the Visitor Center when we get a chance to open back up. I hope you'll pick up a copy. It's also on Amazon if you want to pick it up there. But what did Thomas Hughes say about Pioneer Cottage? Well, he said here, "A puzzle you will allow when you hear a description of our tenement. It is a 4-room timber house of moderate size, 3 rooms on the ground floor and 1 long loft upstairs. You enter through the veranda on a common room, 20 feet long by 14 feet broad, opening out of which are 2 chambers, 14 feet by 10 feet. One of these was, of course, once appropriated to the ladies. The second, in spite of my remonstrances, was devoted to me as the nester of the party, and on entering it I found an excellent bed, which had been made by 2 of the Etonians, and a great basin full of wild flowers on the table. There were 4 small beds in the loft, for which the 7 drew lots, 7 people who were traveling with them. 2 of the losers spread rugs on the floor of the common room, and the 3rd swung up a hammock on the veranda." So Thomas Hughes describes the inside of Pioneer Cottage, which is very similar to how it is today. But he also talks about spending the night here and how he felt and what he thought as he was actually sitting on the porch writing some letters. And he says, "The house is ringing behind me with silvery and bass laughter and jokes as to the shortness of accommodation in the matter of washing appliances, while I sit here writing in the veranda, the light from my lamp throwing out into the strong relief the stems of the nearest trees. Above, the vault is blue beyond all description, and studded with stars as bright as though they were all Venuses. The katydids are making delightful music in the trees, and the summer lightning is playing over the western heaven, while a gentle breeze, cool and refreshing, as if it came straight off a western sea, is just lifting, every now and then, the corner of my paper." So, very peaceful, very relaxing while he's here. Well, what did Thomas say about the wildlife that was here? He said several things in Rugby, Tennessee. But he talked about the hiking trails. And he said, "They have been called the lovers' walks appropriately enough, for no well-adapted place could possibly be found for that time-honored business, especially in spring, when the whole gorges under the tall pines and white oak are one blaze of purple, yellow, and white blossom." But Thomas said that the natural resources that Rugby had were the most important. And the opening address that he gave when the town opened on October the 5th also reflects that, because he says, "Well, in the first place, there is this lovely corner of God's earth which has been entrusted to us. What, as a community, is our first duty with regard to it? There can be no hesitation about the answer. It is to treat it lovingly and reverently. We can add little, perhaps, to its natural beauty, but at least we can be careful to spoil it as little as possible. We may take care that our children, or whoever our successors here may be, shall not have cause to say, 'See what a glorious chance those old fellows had when they came here in 1880, and how they threw it away. This town might have been the most beautiful on this continent, and look what they made of it.'" And Rugby today is still the most beautiful town on the continent. So, as we're stuck at home during this time, just try to find some peace wherever you're at. Even as Thomas came here on his first trip to Rugby, and he came in this very humble house, he still found peace and solitude where he was. And right now, going outside is not against the law. So go outside, walk around, get some fresh air, just like Thomas did when he was here in the 1880s. Look for some other videos coming up with historic Rugby at home, and we look forward to seeing you soon. Thank you so much, and stay strong. Thanks.